Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever in the world you may be. This is my sewing video part 2 and this is the finished article. Just one waist now, not two. No bunched up bit around the middle. That is where I unpicked it. Unfortunately the stripes don't line up, but then they don't line up here either, so you know, look, it's a relatively cheap dress. I mean, you don't usually get that sort of detail unless you're paying a few $100s. So this is very much a sort of a French farmers market type early summer look. Yeah, I like it. It's so much more comfortable just having that one waist there, which actually on me is quite low, and at the side, although it's meant to be empire line, actually comes down to my waist because I have quite a short torso and long legs for my height. So what do you think, guys? Worth the effort? I think so. I think it hangs much more nicely. It's much more flattering. You know, before I've still got to oversew the buttonholes there, so excuse those, I just didn't have time to do them. I must have run out of time. So this used to be the waist. So those are where the drawstring used to be. So it was sort of bunched up round here, which made it quite a bit shorter as well. And it's now much longer, but this sort of cotton nearly always shrinks when you wash it. So fingers crossed that it shrinks. Don't usually say that. Okay, so this is the next sewing project that I'm going to embark on. Now, I've got two black mini skirts here from Supré. They were $35 and I picked them up for $10 in the summer sale. I thought it was about a month ago, but I looked back at the website and it was actually in the summer sale, so it's been a while. So they've got a frill around the bottom, which you can see there, but it also has these long dangly bits as well. And it was the long dangly bits that really intrigued me, because I thought, oh, those are interesting, I could do something with that. There are 3 one side and 2 the other side. Now, I bought the medium to use as the base of the skirt, because I'm going to wear this over a black short sleeve bodysuit, and I wanted it to sit a little bit low on the waist. These dangly bits come to about 2 inches above my ankles. I mean, the skirt's too short, but if you buy 2 short skirts, you can make one longer one from them. Now, it's already got a lining, and the lining is adequate in the top part. It goes down almost to the hem, so it's going to be a decent length. And I just wanted the bottom of it to be mesh so that it was sort of semi-see-through. So what I want to do first is get rid of the lining. Unfortunately, it's that polyester lining, but you know, you get that with cheap clothes. I mean, it's just, you know, the way it is. That's the medium one that I'm going to use at the top of the skirt, so I'll move that one out of the way. This is the small, and that's the mesh bit that, let me take the tag off. I don't think they're going to want it back after this. Right, tag gone. So all I'm going to use from this skirt is the mesh at the bottom with the long dangly bits, very technical that. So I'm going to cut out this, the polyester lining. I mean, polyester's not nice at the best of times, but I mean, I could replace the polyester in the actual, you know, the top part that I'm going to wear as a skirt, but it would be a bit of a pain. And to be honest, the whole thing has cost me $20, well, and my time. And I just find it so weird that somebody else thought of the same thing. But then it happens. Look, when I used to write a lot on Medium, sorry, I get very chatty when I'm sewing, I hope you don't mind. When I used to write a lot on Medium, I used to think, oh, that's a good idea for a story. And I've literally got to the point where I was just about to hit publish, and there's sort of a feed on the side of your page where it shows you articles that people have written recently. And blow me down once if there wasn't one almost exactly the same. And I thought, well, you know, like my dad used to say, great minds think alike, just take it as a compliment. So I did. Maybe not quite as easily as he would have liked, but you know. Because you do think, hey, I thought of that. But then the people are entitled to think of exactly the same thing. I mean, we do not have a monopoly over our own ideas. We think we should, but we don't. Sorry guys, just taking my time with this as usual because, you know, I don't want to make a hole where I don't want a hole. Okay, so this is the lining pretty much gone. I was going to use my big shears, but when it's a sort of a delicate fabric like this, I find it easier to use scissors. By the way, these Fiskars scissors are brilliant. Not sponsored, so wish I was, oh boy. Because they are not cheap scissors, but they are worth every cent. So that's the polyester lining that I don't want. Try and recycle that somehow. So now I've still got the elastic on the waist of this, and I could have cut the mesh off first, do you know what I mean, underneath the elastic here, but with the lining in the way it's awkward and it's easy to make a mistake. So I know it takes a bit longer, but I prefer to do it like this. And you can just run your scissors along the edge. Do you see what I mean? Just run them along the edge of the elastic there. And then you'll get quite a neat edge. Okay, so I've nearly finished. Cutting the elastic waistband off. I'll probably keep that actually because it's a useful piece of elastic and it's new, so it hasn't, you know, it hasn't started to go all stretchy and useless. You know, I've got quite a few old skirts where the elastic's getting a bit tired, so I've also kept the piece of elastic out of the Marks and Spencer dress that I did. You know, I keep lengths of elastic like that, and you'd be surprised how often they come in common. So there is the offending elastic waist, so we'll keep that. I'll cut off the tag. Do you know, I haven't done any sewing for a while, and I've just doing this has just reminded me just how much I love sewing. Not just sewing, but creating, you know. Creating something different. As I said, I think in the last video, I've also got 2 just under the knee dresses that I'm going to turn into a maxi dress. So that would be my next sewing project after this. So now we've just got the mesh. You probably see it better like that. With the frill on the bottom and the dangly bits. I won't say anything else about dangly bits. No. So let's get rid of the tag in this one. I'll move my shears. Don't need the shears. Get rid of the bits. Okay. Right, now, this is my pin cushion. Oh, I love this pin cushion. Absolutely adore it, look. I've had this for, I don't know. My ex-husband bought it for me when he went down to Covent Garden to pick up some bits of scenery that we were borrowing for a show. And he bought me that back, which I was quite surprised about. Wasn't one for buying gifts usually. Anyway, now I need to figure out exactly where I'm going to attach this. For a start off, because the dangly, oh God, these dangly bits, it's cracking me up. Honestly, these dangly bits are at the side of the skirt. I want the layer that I'm putting underneath for them to be in the middle. You know what I mean? So it sort of balances it out, so you've got dangly bits sort of all the way around. So we'll start by putting the middles together there, pinning them. Now when you're pinning a fabric like mesh, you probably know this. If you're a sewer, you'll know this anyway, so ignore me. If you're not a very experienced sewer or you're wanting to learn, and it's a mesh fabric, don't just put a pin in like that. Put it through twice, less chance of it coming out. So that's the middle. And now I need to decide where to attach it. And I think probably the best place to attach it is going to be the bottom of the lining. Because as you can see from here, the frill is asymmetric, it goes down one side. However, the lining, sorry about this guys, it takes a bit of fiddling around. However, the lining is, hopefully you can see that, is straight. I do believe, no, actually that's a bit asymmetrical as well, but not as asymmetrical as the sheer part. So if I put the sides together, it's only out by that much. So in other words, what's that, 3/4 of an inch? So I think we'll attach that to the lining, underskirt, whatever you want to call it really. Okay, so that's the back. So I've got the front here. Now this, as you can see, putting it up to the lining there, is a bit shorter, but because it's stretchy and it's mesh, I can stretch that. So the next thing I'll do is pin the mesh to the bottom of the lining and see how that looks. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so as soon as I held that up against me, I realised that that wasn't going to work because the dangly bits were going to be too long. So, and also when oh goodness, I dropped a pin. Sorry. See a pin and pick it up, and all the day you'll have good luck. Found it. Where I said that the bottom of the, the hem of the lining was slightly asymmetrical. You could, if you wanted to straighten the bottom, of course, attach it further up on that side and across to that side, so you're getting rid of the asymmetry. I quite like keeping the asymmetry. I think that's what this is going to be all about, is the asymmetry of it. Right, just drop the other bit on the floor. Oops. Doing well here. So, change of plan here. We are now going to be attaching it to the top of the frill. In other words, just here. Sorry, difficult to talk with a piece of fabric held under my chin. So I'm just wondering if I can roughly put that in there and pin it and show you sort of how it's going to look without doing too much, because I know it was a really long video yesterday and you probably don't want to watch another hour of sewing with Kaz. Okay, so that I do believe will work much better. However, for the sake of brevity, I'm going to leave it here and leave it as a fairly short video. I hope you like the alterations to the maxi dress. I think they turned out pretty well, and it's certainly a lot more comfortable. And it probably took me, I don't know, a couple of hours. I finished it off earlier today, then gave it a good pressing. Done, job done. You know, much more comfortable. A dress that nobody else will have. And I'll carry on with this, and next time you'll see this, I should have the tacking in place and it'll be ready to try on. So I'm going to leave it there. I will just say, excuse me being headless, won't you, but I wanted the focus sort of down on the table. Oh goodness, I feel like headless Nick in Harry Potter. God, I love those movies. Anyway, I'm going totally off tangent again. If you've enjoyed my videos and you haven't subscribed, do please consider subscribing. I would really, really appreciate it. We have a nice little community here and everybody's very friendly, very nice. There's no There's never any aggro or anything. It's just lovely. As always, I will thank each and every one of you for watching. À bientôt mes amis. Au revoir et bonsoir.